All right, Mark. Should we roll with the intro?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, what's the intro?
I still have no fucking clue.
Uh-oh.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 2 of We Digress, the podcast that's a hot mess. I am one of your hosts, Mike Madrano, joined by the lovely Cloud Mark. How you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, Michael. It's fucking hot today.
It's dude. Shout out Texas,
Shout out
boys.
Texas.
We got the heat, we got the humidity, we got a desert, we got the Rona. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, dude. All of the above. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Love to see it.
99 currently. So
Wow, dude. Yeah, yeah, it's so shit, dude. Oh my god, dude. So they fixed or not fixed the air conditioner at work. Dude, it's been so fucking hot. It's so fucking hot, dude. They locked two of the units to 72 degrees, so they won't go
oh
lower than that. Oh my god, dude. I'm back. You remember when we were in college and I used to take like 2 or 3 showers a day?
yeah.
I'm back to the fucking 2 showers a day, dude.
Yep.
I don't
It's
know
too
if you
hot,
know
dude.
this. I'm a big boy, you know? I generate a lot of body heat. So, gotta clean it up.
Guys,
Oh man.
guys, if you're not already aware, we are part of clandestine Chihuahuas, and
Yeah, pretend there's a chihuahua here.
pretend there's a
It's
Chihuahua here. Our
not 100
jerseys have
thieves.
arrived. They're here. They're ready. So we'll be doing more Chihuahuas stuff. I
Yeah.
think we'll be putting out more Chihuahuas content. I guess this
Yeah,
falls
dude.
under Chihuahuas content. Yo, but is that the young
Dude,
Connor?
why not?
What up,
Why the hell
guys?
not?
Give me those pug please. Pug please is the best emote. I love that emote so much. It is
Uh
amazing.
Shout out to the audio listeners who are like, what the fuck are they talking
I know,
about?
right? But
Uh
nice pug please.
some so Mark,
So
this is another heavy
another
heavy week
heavy
for
week.
sure.
Guys, if you haven't
Uh
been keeping up with uh, Twitch, esports, um, just anything like that, you know that today has been a very, very heavy week with a lot of stuff coming to light
yeah.
and a lot of big names in the industry. Whew, a lot of bad things, and we're gonna go over them. So if you don't know what's going on, we'll fill you in.
Yeah, I think we should start. I mean, so last week we talked about all the sexual assault allegations going on within the gaming community or the gaming
Correct.
industry.
Yeah.
Um, I'll let you speak to this because unfortunately I haven't been able to keep as up to date on it as I wanted to, just due to my work schedule. But the FGC is kind of imploding on itself right now.
Yeah, the FGC or fighting game community, for those of
Yeah.
you that have no idea what that is, it started off with Smash players and the CEO of Evo. And basically, what happened is a bunch of the Smash players and the CEO of Evo got brought to light. Yeah, it's all wild. It's crazy. It got brought to light that there was instances of pedophilia happening at certain events and happening like that happened in the past. Um, and obviously that's very not good. That's illegal. That's awful. That should never happen.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And it was with a lot of the biggest names of people that you would not necessarily expect, but these have been rumors that had been circulating for the last couple years, and a lot of people just like were, it's whatever. There's no way this guy could be involved in stuff like that, and they just brushed it aside. They didn't believe it. But now people came forward with evidence and pretty damning evidence. So we'll go over with that. And the big thing, Joey, I think his name's Joey. It's Joey or Jeremy Cuellar. He was Mr. Wiz, basically wizard. Yeah, lock him up. There we go. It came to light that basically he liked to look at underage boys in less than fully clothed. And this was apparently a very common thing at the arcade that they frequented, and it is. Oh man, it was very not. It's gross, right? Because this guy is one of the leaders of the FGC. He's one of the leaders of the fighting game community, and to find out that underage kids were being targeted and under his watch, and that he's at the forefront of the FGC, it's pretty disgusting. It's pretty awful. And we saw what happened because of that. If you guys don't already know, Evo Online has been canceled. A lot of the people, before it was canceled, a lot of the publishers like Capcom, Bandai, Nintendo, they already spoke out that they would have no part of Evo, basically because they could not support Mr. Wiz's actions, and they didn't want to be any part of what he was doing. Whew, need some water, dude.
Yeah, it's like I said, I haven't been keeping up with this as much as I would have liked to, but it's I think first off, kudos to everybody who came forward. Again, just like we said last week. Oftentimes, especially within the gaming industry, it seems like, at least from what we've heard, the big reason that a lot of people won't come out, when things initially happen, is because they're afraid of the backlash. I think it just speaks to the power struggle that kind of goes on behind the scenes. It seems a lot of these things come down to a person in power using that power to their advantage, to take advantage of people. It's dude, it's it's I don't know, dude. I'm at a loss for words, honestly. I think the biggest thing that I am just okay, let me backtrack. Not the biggest thing. Obviously, it's illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sexual assault in any capacity is illegal. Obviously, if it's with a minor, like, I know you said it earlier, lock them up. It's the thing that disturbs me the most is, and I think this is more of a broad statement. It's people who try to defend or try to victim blame. And I'm sorry, when I say defend, I mean defend the accused.
Right,
not the accuser. But then those people that try to victim blame by saying shit like, well, why didn't you say something sooner? Or, oh, it's convenient that you're waiting until now to say something. I want to believe that most people are good, but the last 2 weeks have really forced me to look at that and question whether or not that's true.
It's insane.
I want to believe that most people are good, but it's, with everything coming out, it's
there's so many things coming out. It's insane how many people are actually getting, like, this is actually happened to.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And that leads us to one of the biggest names in Smash, Mr. Nairo. I don't know his actual full name. So Nairo was basically caught grooming and having relations with Captain Zack, and at the time, Captain Zack is underaged, and this happened for a long time. And when Captain Zack basically let out all the truth, his twit longer and everything on social media, you would think, okay, what is Nairo's stance on this? Like, what happened? But Nairo immediately deletes his Twitter when this statement comes out, and I don't think there's been anything from him. Like, I haven't seen any statement, anything about him, like, nothing at all from Nairo. So, holy shit.
Nairo was he was signed to NRG, right?
NRG, correct.
Yeah, and they dropped him.
Yeah, he one of the biggest Smash players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the amount of people that are just that when this came out, I saw being like, no, this is impossible. It can't be this guy. It shows how much somebody's perceived like personality or character
Yeah.
can like shape a community. Because apparently there was rumor, like I said earlier, there was rumors going around. It's like he's doing pedophilic things, and people were just like, no, it's Nairo. He just swept it under the rug and didn't care. But now that there's actually evidence and his reaction to everything suggests
Mhm.
that it's not good. And
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing, right? And it's because we've been seeing it since last week. Is there's an unfortunate amount. There's an sorry, dude. I'm fucking so tired from work.
it's all
There
good.
is an unfortunate amount of people who, I guess, for lack of a better term, worship a lot of these players and these streamers who have been accused. So much so that they're blinded to the fact that they have done these things. And I
Right.
think you said it. When you get those kind of people, it doesn't matter what evidence is presented to them. They are going to say, no, 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 that's not the streamer that I know. They could never do that. It's not them. It's you. You obviously did something to to make them do this thing, and it's and we talked about it last week. It's something that needs to change. And I know that's easier said than done. It's incredibly difficult to get people to change their points of view. But when it comes to something like this, as serious as this, you would hope that people would be quick to change their points of view.
Okay, we do have a statement by Nairo,
We do have a statement. Okay.
and I'm gonna read it. So he says, this was yesterday. I'm not making
Okay.
excuses. My behavior was wrong. I was wrong. I messed up tremendously. To Zach, Captain Zach, who brought this all to the forefront. I apologize for making you feel like you had to carry a burden all these years. That is not fair to you. I'm truly sorry. I'm taking some time for self-reflection, and I'm committed to getting help. I need to be better, grow, and learn. As a result, I will not be active on social media. Betray the people who trusted and depended on me, the NRG esports staff who helped me professionally, and more importantly, the community who has supported and looked up to me for all these years. I failed you all. I am sorry. And that was his statement on the thing. So that, I guess that would mean everything he says is
Yeah, I mean, it's
fact.
you know
And
that I don't know that statement to me seems a little.
seems a little wet. You cut out at the end there.
I no, I stopped
Oh,
talking
okay.
because
I was like,
I'm trying to think. Um, it seems like there could have been more to that statement. Like he could have said more. It seems like a very surface level statement. It seems like the kind of statement that, like, if you and I are arguing about something and you call me out and I just go like, "All right, you're right, I fucked up. That's on me."
all right, I
That's what it
fucked up.
seems like to me. You know what I mean?
I want to see. We're gonna have to keep a close eye and see the
Yeah.
fallout of this situation, because this is illegal, right? And this could, if this is brought to the authorities or whatever,
Mhm.
and he basically admitted to it, we got to see like what the punishment would actually be or what's happening. I don't know if anything's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell. I'm not with them, but this is just from an outside perspective looking in.
Hmm.
And Zero just posted a second statement to regarding his allegations. Good old Zero, my boy Zero. Let's see what Zero has to say. Zero is another big member of the Smash community, probably one of the biggest members of the Smash community. I don't know what his Twitter ad is.
And before it's just at zero. I mean, I actually don't
I
know.
don't know what it is. Yeah, I have no idea.
Um, well,
If
I
you want to
guess
get that, and you can
zero wandering on
Zero
Twitter.
wondering,
Wondering. God, dude, words are so hard, dude. I'm like I said, I'm so tired from fucking work today, dude.
All right, let's see Zero's statement. This is insanely long, so I can't give you. I would have to read this in depth to actually give you a very good analysis of it.
Uh,
But here's his statement. I'll link it
you're
in
gonna link it
chat.
in chat.
Yeah. If you guys want to see Zero's statement, it's right there. Zero, like I said, is one of the biggest personalities in the Smash community. One of the
Oh yeah, this is like legit. Like it's a Google Doc.
it's a
Yeah.
Google Doc, yeah.
Go ahead and I'll link that as well in my chat.
But for the Smash community, it's basically devastating. I know a lot of people are distancing themselves from the Smash community.
Yeah.
And
Well, there was another. It was Sinpie, Cinnamon. What
Cinepie
was
and
Cinnipie?
Puppy, something like
Um,
that. I
I
just
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just had it up, so I was looking for it, and it was Cinepie, and basically she is also a big member in the Smash community, and she got involved with someone who was 14 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's insane to me that he was that young. And I think one of the biggest things come out of that is the amount of people responding like, "Oh my god, that guy's so lucky." It's like, bro,
Yeah,
are
I
you
think
kidding me?
that's the other thing, and I feel like that's something that we've seen in the past. Where so I remember. Oh man, it was.
Yeah, he
I
looked
want to say
so
we were in
young.
I want to say we were maybe seniors in high school, freshmen in college, but there was this really high profile case of a female teacher who was having sexual relationship with one of her high school students.
Yeah,
And I remember there being, you know, I think the majority of people were like, "Yo, that's incredibly fucked up. Like this kid is going to be messed up for, the foreseeable future because of all of this." But then like you said, you had this other group of people who were like, "Oh, dude, if I was that kid, I wouldn't rat my teacher out. Like, do you know what I would have give to have slept with my teacher and da 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 da." And it goes to this double standard, right? Where if a male teacher is having relations with their student, they're disgusting, they're a
right,
pedophile, lock them up, give them the death sentence, right?
right.
But if it's a female teacher having relations specifically with a male student, people are more likely to be like, "Oh yeah, that kid's fucking stupid for, for saying anything."
Yeah,
And in the case of Sinipie, right?
right. Senpai.
Sinpie, excuse me. I think you're seeing a lot of that. I don't know if you saw any of the videos that were posted from some of the events.
No.
I'll have to find a video. I'll let me pull up the video that I saw them in and I'll link them. But it was the camera that was on the players, right?
Right.
When they're competing, and you can see her in the background with I'm so sorry. What was his name again?
Puppy.
Yes. So you see them in the background. And if you notice it at first glance, it looks really innocent. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it looks like she's like oh, telling him like, "Oh, you're doing so well" and whatnot. But then after you read the statement that he put out and you realize that she was grooming him, it completely changes the perception of what's happening in those videos. I know in the statement he said that he was running around the Airbnb that they were staying at out of excitement, and she chased him down a hallway and tackled him, and she got on top of him and started making out, and that was what initiated it.
It's insane. Like it's insane because he does look so much younger than 14, and at this point she's 28, if I'm not mistaken. So she's
I thought she
double his
was
age.
20. I thought she was 24 at the time.
She might have been 24 at the time, but either way, it's it's disgusting. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's so sad that you think that the community would be filled with people, you know, hyped about the game, want to talk about everything about the game, and then it comes out that this person, Senpai, was grooming this little kid who looks so young. Like, he doesn't look 14. He looks like
Yeah,
super
like
baby face, like 9 years old or something.
yeah. So so I have an article up here. I'll go ahead. It's from Dot Esports. So I'll go ahead and I'll link that in both of the chats here.
Right.
So I'll
Oh
link
man.
those. So Super Smash Bros. Commentator Senpai accused of having sexual relationship with 14-year-old player. Senpai was 24 at the time of the alleged relationship. So that's the article. It does have a link to the tweet and the twit longer from Puppe. And let me see here. If you want, Mark, I mean, we can read through the entire thing, or we can just get to the portion where he talks about the relationship being initiated. It's completely up to you.
Let's just talk about their relationship. I think that's
Okay.
the biggest thing.
All right. So he says that the two of them would DM on Facebook and Snapchat, and that both of her accounts have been deleted for a while now. They would do this on a daily basis. He says, quote, "The first sexual thing that happened between the two of us happened one night after we got back from one of the tournaments we traveled to. After the tourney, we went to the place we were staying at, and once we got there, everyone started playing Smash and then Mario Party after. People started drinking once we got back, which happened regularly once we would reach wherever we would be staying for the night. But I would never drink myself. Something crazy ended up happening in the game we were playing, and since I was a hyper kid, I ran into the hallway towards the bathroom away from the main room where we were all playing. As in a joke pop off. Cinnamon, who was pretty drunk at the time, ran after me and tackled me to the ground and started to make out with me while lying on top of me. The incident probably happened for about 15 to 20 seconds, and then after, we just went back and kept playing. So,
It's
people say that your true self comes out when you're drunk.
right.
And I think for this to happen, somebody could make the argument that oh well, she was drinking, she didn't know what she was doing, but it doesn't matter if she was drunk, if she was high, if she was stone cold sober. It's something that should never have happened,
Right.
ever. Had he not been 14 at the time and had been 18 or older, right, it still would have been something that shouldn't have happened,
Right.
because it's sexual assault regardless. The fact that he was a minor makes it that much worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He continues here that he says he was pretty much in shock the entire time, and he wasn't really opposed to it since he was 14 at the time and he liked her a lot.
Right.
He says, we spent basically every week together during the summer, so on top of the sexual things we would do, he started developing strong feelings for her. That was one of the times that he had a sexual experience with her. He says he's not going to go into details, but he only remembers 3 or 4 times vividly. He says that they would usually sleep together most nights after the first incident, and they would kiss a lot and cuddle during those nights. He says, quote, "Our sexual relationship escalated as far as oral sex, but never as far as sexual intercourse. Our pseudo relationship lasted pretty much the entire summer, and she played with my head so often during that time, and it still really fucks with me to this day. I truly believe most of my mental issues stem from that summer and how she treated me." And he even says that she would say things like, "We can be together when you're 18," which,
Oh, that's so fucking.
you know,
Oh God.
very, very clearly grooming him. Um,
It's fucking disgusting, dude.
yeah, just like last week, I said this last week. These are difficult things to talk about, and again, it's not because we shouldn't talk about these things, but it's because, I'm 26 years old now. I, for me, don't have to worry about that anymore. Again, for me, because I'm 26. Is it something that I thought about when I was a kid? I can't really recall ever worrying about that. Obviously, you're a kid, you're pretty carefree. I know that was an issue that my mom would, worry about,
Right.
that my father would worry about. I'm sure that your family worried about that too.
Right.
And it's one of those things that like you never think it's going to happen, and then for it to happen in such a tight-knit community like the FGC, it it makes me wonder, you know, what else went on that we haven't found out about yet
Correct.
between other people within the community. I feel like the FGC is one of those communities where it's fairly small within the competitive gaming scene,
Right.
but it has some of the most passionate fans
Oh yeah,
within
definitely.
the competitive gaming scene.
Yeah, this is
You
this is
know,
a gigantic blow to the entire FGC.
yeah.
And it's sad to see because I loved watching Evo, by the way. I was super hyped with it. Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Tekken. I was all about that. And now that it's officially canceled for this year, we don't know. They're gonna go. Evo's going forward. They parted ways with Joey Wizard, Mr. Wizard Cuellar, and he's no longer with the company. They're going forward with a new CEO, and they're gonna come back next year. And hopefully, they take the right steps to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that this can't happen at their events, and it can't happen at smaller events or like at anything. It can't happen because this is unacceptable. It's highly illegal, and they're we're waiting to see what the repercussions are.
Yeah, and like you said, hopefully going forward they take the necessary precautions so that this doesn't happen. Though I will say I think I don't feel comfortable saying so that it never happens again, because the unfortunate reality is that this is something that will continue to happen, but hopefully it's minimized enough, and and Evo and the rest of the FGC community minimize it to a point where they empower people who this happens to come forward without the fear of repercussions and without the fear of their reputations being destroyed, because unfortunately, like I said earlier, that seems to be the underlying reason for a lot of these people not coming forward, you
Right.
know and it'll be interesting to see how they handle competition amongst those who are under the age of 18,
Right.
because I know in a lot of esports now they are setting an age limit, right?
Yeah.
I think the general consensus used to be the age of 13,
Mm-hmm.
but now we're starting to see more leagues raising that age requirement to 18. And I think the big ones that I know of off the top of my head are like the Overwatch League, the Call of Duty League,
League of Legends also. I'm
League
pretty
of
sure you have to be
Legends.
18.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that regard.
Yeah, and that's a good step. And I saw I don't remember who this was, but like at their events, they had to. Everybody now is required if you're 16 or under to be accompanied by a guardian,
Yeah.
or they just won't let you into the event. So that's also something, you know. But
Yeah, which seems like something that should have been in place to begin with,
yeah,
so
it's it's rough. It
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it's again, kudos to those who are coming out and
Right.
speaking out. I think we definitely need to hear more stories about this, because I still think that people aren't taking it as seriously as they should.
Right.
And maybe this is going to be the catalyst, because with some of the allegations that we talked about last week, there were instances where people were being groomed, but I feel like a lot of those got overshadowed. So hopefully this is the catalyst that makes people really, really think about these things. And like you said, figure out the correct steps to minimize this and encourage people and empower people to continue to speak out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the only reasons that they spoke out is because a lot of other people have been speaking out, like what we were talking about last week, and that is giving people like, hey, they spoke out, they brought what happened to them, into the light. Maybe I can do the same too. And that's good. That's what I want to see, people comfortable and able to basically come forward with what happened to them and not be scared and to get it out there.
Yeah. I just saw Tell made a really good point. He said it's so much more prevalent and easier to accomplish with the internet nowadays. And I think he's completely right. I think the internet is it's amazing that it enables people like us to share ideas and connect with people with like interests. And I mean, I see you in person once a year,
Yeah.
right? Um, any other time it's I'm hanging out in your stream or we're playing games together.
Just
Um,
chilling in Discord and
yeah, exactly. And beyond that, I mean, through you and your stream, I've been able to meet people like Telarus and Koki and Aaron and befriend them.
yeah.
And these are people that I've never met in person,
Right.
but I consider them my friends.
Right.
And I think the internet is wonderful and it's great for that. But at the same time, it it offers people a level of anonymity, even if they are streaming like we are. There's still a layer of anonymity because what we're showing you right now is what we want to show you,
Right.
right? It may not be our true selves.
Yeah.
And I think that also enables people who are having these perverted thoughts to act on those thoughts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I would love to see go away. I don't know that it's going to go away unless the internet gets regulated, which is an entire other topic
That's a
that we're
gigantic
not
other
going to get
topic.
into
Yeah.
right now. That, and I'm not saying regulate the internet because I don't think we should,
Right.
right?
Right.
But it, it's something that I'm glad, like in my personal experience, that my mom would sit me down and talk to me about. Like I didn't have a social media account until I was a freshman in high school.
I
You
was
know,
about the same. I didn't have
yeah,
one until I was a freshman in high school.
and that was because my cousins, my older cousins, convinced my mom to let me get a MySpace account. No, I lied. It was eighth grade. I lied. It was eighth grade. Anyway, but even then, my mom was like, you need to give me your password, and I need to be able to look at everything. And at the time, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Good old MySpace, man.
And I was kind of like, oh, my mom's crazy, but I understand. Obviously, now I understand why it
Yeah,
happened. Why she did.
because there's just spooky shit like this that
Yeah,
can happen.
because there are creeps on the internet who will try to take advantage,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot. I mean, I think from a young age we just talk to your kids about this stuff, empower them to speak to you about things.
Right.
Don't ever, you know,
And if you don't know about social media, because I know our parents aren't the best at that, then find someone you trust who knows
yeah,
about this shit to talk to your kids,
yeah,
right? Because you could just be giving them completely wrong information, scaring them off for just no reason at all because you don't know what you're talking about.
yep, that's true. That's true. You don't know what you're talking about. That's the scrap name for our the podcast.
That is.
um, I want to pivot away from this.
Yes, and I know a good pivoting point.
What's the pivot point?
So,
Transitions. How do those
transition.
work?
You know how we're all like how we want you to see our streaming personality? That is what happened with our next topic, which
Oh
is
yeah.
gonna be offline TV, where
Yep.
it came out that Fedmeister, or Fed as he's commonly known, was he basically sexually assaulted two of the other members of offline TV in Lily Pichu and Yvonne. And he did it to a couple of other girls that weren't in offline TV but were in their circle. So like the Just Friends circle, like Kimmy, Foosley, and then even other, other girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when this first came out, everybody was just like standing Fed because of how they perceived him and his stream personality. And there was like messages everywhere where they were like, "No, Fed, I know you're a good person." It's like, you don't know he's a good person. You don't know Fed at all. You don't know any of the streamers unless you personally know them, obviously. But if you're just in their stream, you know the persona that they're projecting, that people want, that come to stream, that people that come into their stream want to see. That is what you know them of. So unless you have personal interactions with them, you have no idea what they're really like. So,
Yeah, and I think so. Yvonne released her statement, and then it was the same night, correct, that Lily released her statement,
right,
and a lot of other people started coming out and sharing their experiences with him.
mm-hmm.
For me, what it seems, what
Kuro,
it seems to be, is that he was again using his position, the power that he saw himself holding, to take advantage of people.
Right.
And it wasn't just taking advantage of them sexually, but it was taking advantage of them, taking advantage of the relationship, right? The friendship.
Mm-hmm.
So in some of these instances, we had people coming forward saying that they felt like he was only using them for content. He would only be around them when, he wanted to film something, and he would kind of vanish, that he would make them feel valued as a person.
Yeah, that was something that Kimmy talked about a lot.
Yeah. And Fusely talked about it too.
Yeah, where he would be hanging out with them and doing a lot of content with them, and then he wouldn't talk to them for like months.
Yeah.
And they just felt like, well, I guess we were friends, but now it's like I haven't seen you in forever. It's like I'm nothing now,
Yeah, and like Tal said in chat, it's classic manipulation.
Yeah.
There were many accounts where he was, he would take people out and he would buy them drinks and he would pay for this and he'd pay for that, and he would tell them like, you're my best friend and this and that, and make them feel special. And then, like Mark said, when he was done, he would just ignore them. I know that Mo, Yasuo,
mm-hmm.
he talked about it briefly. And he even talked about how when he was going through all of his issues with his own mental health, that he would talk to Fed about it, and that Fed would eventually use that against him.
Yeah, so it wasn't just his relationship with the other girls in the house, like, right? It was with guys and girls, the manipulation with everyone. And I know Skara came out when
our boy Skara,
our boy William Skara Lee, he came out and he's like, he believed everything Fed said because that was Fed, it was his friend. And he, at one point, he came out and said that he thought Pokey was crazy because that's what Fed was relaying to him. And then
that was something that was shared that was a sentiment that was shared amongst not just Skara but Fusely and Kimmy as well.
Yeah.
That they thought that Pokey, who is another, I would say the most popular
For
female streamer on
I
Twitch.
think that is true with
Yeah,
followers and sub counts and just
that she
personality. Yeah.
was crazy, and that she would do things to him and make him feel bad and this and that, and people believed him. People believe that she was this horrible person that he made her out to be.
Right.
And then what we end up hearing from Pokey's side of things is that she felt like he was her first really close friend in the group, that but it got to a point where he would just straight up ignore her and pretend like she didn't exist. That they would be they were living in a house together, and he would just pretend like she wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's just it's a fuck situation. I know that a lot of people, because and you mentioned it, people were saying that they stand, I stand Fed. A lot of people were attributing it to alcohol,
Right.
and saying that he has an issue with alcohol, which if he does, we don't know. We cannot confirm or deny that.
Right. It's been brought up before in
Yeah.
OTV that his dad was an alcoholic, and
Yeah.
that actually what caused him to pass away, from his alcoholism.
Yeah.
And if a family member has it, it's a lot easier, It's like hereditary, right? To
Yeah.
go down to the kids and whatever. But even so, alcohol doesn't excuse your actions.
No, it doesn't. And then I think the other thing is he kind of made a name for himself, or he made the career for himself of him being like this crazy, wacky.
Yeah, just fed things and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
because it seemed like in a lot of his streams he was always drinking.
Yeah,
And this was a sentiment that was expressed by I want to say by Pokey, that it seemed like he was drinking just for the content. Right?
Right.
And there were things that he had done on stream in the past that got him in trouble. I mean, most notably when he was in Japan, he was drunk and he broke a gate on a street vendor's like cart. Like it was I mean, yeah, it was a gate, right?
I think so.
And he jumped head first into it and he broke it. And he was drunk when he did it.
Yeah.
And he got banned. He got a temporary ban because of it.
Rightfully so.
It was a 30-day ban, right?
If you destroy someone's property on street,
Yeah.
you're gonna get banned. That's just how it should be.
Yeah. So I mean, he has a history of doing things and drinking for content.
Yeah.
The entire situation is.
It always felt like he was trying to one up himself.
Yeah.
Like, what crazy thing is Fed gonna do next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I'm gonna bring something up that we're not gonna name names, okay? But somewhat recently, we had a situation with an ex-member of our friend group,
right,
who was always doing shit that this person should not have been doing, and we attributed it to, that's just how they are.
Right. Just things,
Yeah. And I know that the folks over at Offline TV and Just Friends, they said that they sat him down and they explained all their grievances, and they aired it all out for him.
This was before they went to social media.
Yeah, this was before this all went public, and that he seemed very apologetic, that he was saying like he's going to change and this and that, and that it ended up turning into him trying to save his own image. behind everybody's back,
Right. So
which was something that he exhibited according to the rest of these
that
members.
was basically the whole thing of the intervention.
Mhm.
He everybody who wasn't involved into it, he basically went behind everybody's back
Yeah.
and told other people that everybody was against him basically and getting everyone to his side, which is why they ended up finally bringing it to light and out in the public.
Yeah. Um, and that is a similar experience to what we had, where a year and a half, 2 years ago, we all kind of came together and we, in a Discord call, we basically told this ex friend of ours, like, this is what you're doing. This is why it's fucked up. You need to stop doing it. And this person was like, you know what? You're right. They started changing, to this person's credit.
Right.
They made improvements in their life. We all kind of saw it as like, okay, good. They're finally growing up.
Right.
Which, thinking back on it, you know, this person did some very exploitative shit.
Some
Is that the,
really
is that the
bad
right?
shit. Exploitative,
Is that
yeah.
yeah? Some really really bad shit, and it was shit that I was very vocal about. Mark was very vocal about, and he would just do it. And so after we had this initial intervention, this person, his behavior started improving, but then it kind of just, after a year, it kind of just became the same old shit,
Right.
Fell back into those same patterns. We would try to talk to this person about it, and it just wasn't helping. And it eventually got to a point where this person started attacking us.
Right.
And we just kind of said, you know what, fuck it. And we cut him from our life,
Yeah.
And it was something that was incredibly hard to do, but it was something that needed to be done.
Yeah. We were trying to help him for a long time.
Yeah. And it's,
And it was,
I don't want to get too much, too much more into it, but we tried to make this person see the error in their way. We thought we got through to this person, and we didn't. And I know for me personally, I felt awful about it. I felt like, fuck, was there more that we could have done? But at the end of the day, I think when you have a group of people that you claim are your friends, that you claim are like family, if you have that group of people telling you, look it, dude, this is what's going on, it's wrong and you need to change, and you're not willing to take that to heart, I think that you need to, you need to cut that person from your life, because there's only so much that you can do to try to help that person.
Yeah, like none
At
of
some
us
point,
are
yeah,
trained professionals
yeah,
to
exactly,
do anything, but we tried, right? That's our friend, that's our bud. We're gonna
yeah,
try, but if you don't want to be helped, there's only so much we can do, right?
yeah. If you're not willing to get the help, then unfortunately there's only so much that we can do, you know and I think that's in a lot of aspects in life. I can't make Mark do something if he's not willing to do it.
Right.
Right? Mark can't make me do something if I'm not willing to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's going back to the offline TV stuff.
Yeah.
They're fed. He said in his statement, he said he's finally getting help now, like help, which is good. That's I think that's what OTV wanted to happen, and a lot. I think that's what a lot of people wanted to happen because
Mhm.
Fed is still their friend, right? And
Yeah.
they want what's best for him, and this is the way. This is what they needed to do for him to, basically get the help that he needed.
Yeah. To hopefully get the help that he needs.
Yeah.
Because again, it seems like, based on what people are saying, that he's more concerned about saving face than he is making up for the damage that he's caused.
Yeah.
and obviously there's some damage that he might not be able to, you know, undo to
Yeah.
fix. But there certainly is a lot of stuff that he can repair. You know, he can repair the friendships if he's willing to, but it seems like he's not willing to. And again, these are just our opinions. This isn't fact. Our word is not
This is an
law.
outside perspective looking
This
into
is an
that,
outside perspective, exactly.
looking into the offline TV situation. We don't like, I'm not friends. I'm not on a first name basis with Skara. You know, I can't just call him up and be like, "Hey, yo, Jimmy, what's up?" That we can't do that. So this is.
I'm sorry, his fucking name is Skara. Thank you very much.
But yeah. So this is just our outside opinion looking in, and like that, like even in their statements, we don't know them. We don't know the streaming persona. We don't know the streamers, besides the persona that they put out to everybody.
Yeah.
And I think everybody needs to. It's fine to be part of a streamer community and find, like, that's how you find a bunch of friends and everything, right? That's how you get people who are excited about the same things you are, who are like, holy shit, this game is coming out, and you just have a bunch of people that are also pumped with you, that want to have fun with you, that want to just, you know, hype out and geek out a bunch of whatever things.
Yeah.
And that's one of the coolest things of Twitch, like we were alluding to earlier, and the internet, that it's really easy to do that. It's really easy to find people to really be cool with, be able to get excited about the same things, be able to share your hobbies.
Yeah.
And it's just sad, honestly, to see one of, I think this is like the biggest group on Twitch, I would say, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, like OTV and Just Friends as a whole. I mean,
I don't think Just Friends exists like officially anymore. But
I mean, that
we
group
know
of
who
friends,
they are, right?
Yeah, we know who they are.
And it's crazy to think that this was happening and all of the manipulation going on. And going on with the second part of the offline TV, it wasn't just Fed being called out for this. It was also their former manager, Chris Chan, I think is his name, or Chris as everybody knew him, or Hubman as he is now with his podcast, YouTube channel, comic, whatever he's doing right now with his wife and former house mother, Pekka. He was called out by Lily for being, yeah, very inappropriate with her. I have her statement up here. I would have to actually bring it up because I don't know exactly what she said. Okay, this is only her last statement. I don't know what happened to her first statements, but
I think unfortunately she's been deleting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which this kind of goes back to this mentality of attacking the victim. When she released the initial statement about Fed, a lot of people like were attacking her, and she was apologizing. Like she was apologizing for releasing the statement, which, you know, thankfully a lot of other people came forward and were like, no, you don't have to apologize. Like, this is something that occurred to you that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize.
Yeah,
I mean, she did. That's you know, that seems to be the kind of person she is.
Right.
You know, and she did, and I do think she was going back and she was deleting.
Yeah, because I can't find some of her statements. Mm-hmm. So I have her last statement, and it does really seem like there was some gaslighting going on. So to try to minimize the damage towards this person, and it's just really sad to see because she shouldn't, like you were saying earlier, she shouldn't be afraid to come forward and talk about what happened to her and all that stuff, because like I said, more people should be able to come forward, and I think with the amount of people coming forward now, it's making it a lot easier for other people to come forward, and that should be basically like, this is how it should be, right? Like, you shouldn't be afraid that you're gonna get backlash or like socially destroyed because you come forward with all these allegations, right? And it's really hard to see
Yeah.
her having like trying to make everything better and more. I guess I don't know if I would say like she was apologizing a lot,
Yeah, I mean, she was.
but she was trying to like minimize the
Yeah.
damage to him. And I think
Yeah.
Skara, in his statement, he says that Chris got off very easy, and there was nothing else said about it, so we don't really know. If we're gonna go by what Skara says, that means it was bad, and Lily had to minimize it because of what was said to her.
Mhm.
That is what I interpret that statement and how I interpret the whole thing that happened.
Yeah, and it. So I mean, I'm completely unaware of this other set of allegations that came out. This is
Right.
the first time I'm hearing about it. But so was she minimizing this this statement as
It
well?
was no, she was mostly minimizing against Chris because
Yes. Okay.
when she apparently did her first statement, she got contacted by not only Chris but his wife, Pekka, and after they contacted her, she basically released another statement minimizing what she said, and then another statement minimizing even further, which is, to me, it's obvious gaslighting,
Yeah.
right?
So she was gaslit.
It's it's disgusting to see, first and
Yeah.
foremost, and after I saw Skara's statement, which came out the day after, saying that um, Chris got off really easy, that really solidifies my thought that she was gaslit, right? Like they really were gaslighting her to minimize the situation because if you guys keep up with Pekka and Chris, you know that Pekka is pregnant and they're
Mm-hmm.
expecting a child soon. So I'm thinking that they're like, we're starting a family, everything's,
Yeah.
they're gonna start their lives as a family together. They don't want this these allegations hanging over them
Mm-hmm.
because they would take a monetary hit and their reputation would take a giant hit, as it should, because it is never okay to sexually assault someone.
Yeah.
And it just sucks to see that. Oh, that. How do I say this? That you care more about your image than what's right. And that's I'm talking about Pekka because it seems like she started the
Yeah.
gaslighting. But again, we don't know all the facts, and it looks like they're not going to say anything else about it. So we can only speculate.
Yeah.
But I hope that Lily and Yvonne, especially, get the support that they need. And it seems like they're getting the support that they need, which is very good because their streaming personas are both really nice people. Because, like I said, we can't tell exactly who they are. But, if you saw the Dr. K interview with Yvonne, I think that's a very good look into her personality, and she seems like a
Yeah.
very, very nice person.
Which that interview, I think it went live on YouTube the day before all of this came to light. And so I actually watched that interview, and there's a moment in that interview where I think a lot of people were like, "Oh shit, like it's somebody in the house." So she talks about, she talks about two different times where she was sexually assaulted. One of them, as I remember, was some random guy at a
Yeah,
party.
after a party, they were like in a
Yeah, after a
cab.
party, he like tagged along with their friend group. But then the other one, which obviously we know now, was the you know the first incident with Fed. There was a moment there where Dr. K asked, like, does this person have access to the house? And she said yes. And then he said, I believe his direct question was, does this person live there? and she just
Yeah.
kind of went,
She
"Well,
didn't
this
answer
person's."
because she didn't
Yeah,
want
well,
to name any names.
yeah, I believe she said she said, "Well, this person's just always around."
Yeah. She
So, yeah,
she said she wanted to protect the whole circle that they had going on
yeah,
right there, and that she was willing to not give any identities in order to protect that.
yeah,
And
and
I think it's a very good interview if you guys want to see
yeah,
it.
it really is. Um, yeah, man, but oh man, I
It's
think
just hard to
it's the
see because I've
yeah,
been following offline TV since they were made, right? A
yeah,
lot of the streamers are from the League community, which is what
mhm,
got me onto Twitch, got me into streaming and all this, being on here. You know, like back in the day, I remember watching Pokey, Scara, and just End Lily for their League content, and that's how everybody came together. And now seeing that this happened to them, it's really sad. And not only that, but she had to not only that, but in Lily's case, that she had to backtrack and minimize. That's even sadder to me.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like to make a victim of assault feel like they somehow enabled it or they somehow deserved it. Um, it's I mean, it might as well be the name of our fucking podcast. It's incredibly fucked.
Yeah,
It's incredibly fucked, and it's something that should never happen. Um, and obviously, just like as a fan, you know, my love and support goes out to everybody involved, not just in the situation at OTV, but you know, to everybody who's being affected. Um, I like personally, I may not be a fan of FGC, but at the end of the day, we're all gamers, we're all human beings, and I think it's important to have empathy for people.
right.
You know, whether or not you're a fan of them, um, it's important to just be good to people, and it's easier said than done. But especially with everything that's going on right now in the world, I think everybody could use a little more empathy and a little more kindness in their life.
Thank you for the Twist Prime sub, Diego. I appreciate you. And that goes really well into how they wanted people to deal with all the things that they were bringing up. How Lily and Yvonne wanted people to not attack Fed, Pokey as
Yeah,
well. That nobody wanted anybody to attack Fed and be just just mean to him. They wanted people
yeah,
to be supportive in him getting the help that he desperately needs.
yeah, and I think that speaks volumes to the kind of people that they are. The
Yeah,
fact that even with everything that's happening within their circle, their main concern was fed and
right.
is fed. And that just goes to show you how much they care about him. I mean, even after all the stuff that he's put them through, their main concern is fed and making sure that he's not only getting the help that he deserves, but he's doing it in a he's doing it in a way that is as positive as possible.
Right.
Because they could have not said anything, and people could have started attacking him and saying horrible things about him, but instead they chose to take the high road
Yeah.
and offer encouraging words to him.
And it really
And the
sucks that people on the internet think it's okay to say horrible things to people.
yeah, and I mean, not to you know stray um abruptly, but I think you bring up a really good point, Mark, and I think that we should probably touch base on this now. And before we go any further, I am just gonna let everybody know. we are about to talk about a very tough subject, and that is suicide. So if you are uncomfortable by that, please stop watching
Or listening.
um, or listening. We just want to make that clear.
Right.
So yesterday it was confirmed by um, an ex-girlfriend, a roommate, and a brother that popular Twitch streamer Reckful had passed away. Um, Now it hasn't been, as far as I'm aware, there has been no official cause of death, but based on tweets that have been sent out, it seems to be suicide.
Yeah.
His brother, and this is the one that really fucking crushed me, was his brother sent out a tweet saying that basically both of his siblings died in similar ways.
Right.
um I know I touched a little bit on it last week. um Mental health is something that is still not um I'm sorry, this is it's I'm trying to choose my words wisely. It's something that we still need to normalize.
Right.
The gaming community can be incredibly toxic. And we saw that with with what happened yesterday. There was a video that started circulating where Reckful's Twitch chat was jokingly telling him to kill himself.
Yeah.
And he started crying.
Yeah,
And he
that's
started telling
fucked.
them,
Why would you
yeah,
tell
he
anybody to
started
go
telling
kill
them,
themselves?
I'm human and it's affecting me. And I don't
It's
think enough people realize that even in a joking manner, like that shit hurts, you know?
especially when that person has a history with, being depressed or having a mental
Yeah.
illness or
Well,
something.
not even that, but being so open about it.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to say, it's one thing to say, like, hey, don't say that, it's not right. But to say that to somebody who was as open as he was, I think it makes it even more malicious because you know that this person suffers from mental illness
Right.
and you're still saying those things. You're still making light of it. And it's just
This goes back
it's
to a point that we made earlier, that
yeah,
anonymity of the internet. People
yeah,
feel like, well, they're not gonna know who I am. I'm just gonna say, type a KYS in chat and think it's funny, and it's not fucking funny.
yeah,
It's These things really get, like, people don't understand that as a content creator or whatever, a streamer, YouTuber, anything, they see all these negative comments, and some
yeah,
people, they hyper focus in on these,
yeah,
and it sucks. Do we see the clip about the Dr. K did the session? Yeah, Dr. K also talked with Reckful, and that is a very good interview. I would say
and
if you want to know more of the situation with Reckful, definitely go watch that.
yeah. And I mean, he was 31 years old.
Right.
I mean, he's what, 5 years older than us,
Yeah.
right? It's devastating. Now, I will say,
Dr. K seems like a great person. Sorry to interrupt.
oh yeah, no, Dr. K, love his content.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely the kind of person that the community really needs
Yeah.
to bring awareness to these types of things. Um, just real quick, I will admit I know of Reckful, I never watched him. But again, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's still important to have empathy for those affected by this, because obviously his friends, his family are being affected by this, but there are people who watched him
Yeah.
for years.
Years and years, way back in the early days when this was just in TV.
Yeah. And they're affected by it. I liken it to when when a celebrity died, when a prominent celebrity dies, right?
Right.
For example, like when Carrie Fisher died, that one hurt me. I've never met Carrie Fisher. I'm a fan of her, you know, and that one hurt me. So, and I liken it to, to this. You have somebody on the platform who is immensely popular, who was at the forefront of the stream game, right?
Right.
Who helped build streaming into what it is today.
Right.
And he took his own life. And I think what's really sad about it is all of the tweets that he was sending out leading up to this. Where he was even saying things like, "Don't listen to what I'm saying," because I'm manic or I'm crazy or whatever,
Yeah.
and I can't control what I'm saying. It's. I wish I had a better word, but it other than devastating, but that's what it is.
Yeah, like you, I never really watched Reckful, but I did watch a lot of Becca, which is his ex-girlfriend, and seeing how a lot of people on my timeline and whatever, seeing them reacting and the memories they have of being with Reckful, it sucks. It's fucking awful that he was pushed to this. He's pushed to that point. And
yeah, I am.
Yeah. That's how I saw it. I saw the tweet of him proposing to Becca, which that's where a lot of people were like spewing their bullshit and just being fucking mean and everything. And then a couple hours later, I saw people were going rip Reckful, and I was like, what happened? Where did this come from? And then I learned what happened, and it's just sad that people say shitty things behind anonymity, and it really affects someone's mental state.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna get personal. I'm not gonna reveal everything, because there's shit that like I've known Mark for 12 years, and there's some shit that he's only recently found out about. So I'm not gonna get too personal, but I'm very open about my struggles with mental health, because I think it's something that we need to talk about, that we need to normalize. I know how hard it can be day to day dealing with depression. I have days where I'm over the moon. I'm as happy as could be. You would never know that there's anything wrong with me. Then I have days where I just want to fucking lay in bed all day. I don't want to see another person. I don't want to do anything. And it's a struggle for me to get up and even brush my teeth. I know how painful it is. I have been through some dark times and gone to some dark places. I can't imagine.
Uh-oh, did Michael die? Guys, I think Michael died. Michael! Oh no! Okay, well, Michael's having technical difficulties, so I'll keep up with it. So, basically, the anonymity and being able to bully people on social media with basically thinking that you can get away with it with no what am I talking about? With nothing bad happening to you, right? And repercussions. Thank you, Kuro. With no repercussions. It's fucking awful, and it's very prominent in the gaming uh circle, and it's something that's like, I feel like it's normalized. It's like, oh, that's just, the League community, they're toxic. Haha, it's just how it is. It shouldn't be just how it is. It shouldn't. You should never bully someone to the point where they think suicide is the answer, right? That should never happen. Never happen at all. And I saw something today. If you guys don't know, The Last of Us 2, very divisive. I played it. I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8.5. Personally, I thought there was glaring issues with it. Most notably the dragging of some stuff. But yeah, Laura Bailey tweeted out some. Oh, look, I'm big now. Hey, hey. Michael will come back when he can. But here, I'll link the tweet in chat of basically like this. So here's the tweet if you want to see it. But she gets tweets basically going, "I'm going to kill you because you played Abby in The Last of Us Part 2. I'm going to find where you live and slaughter you for what you did. I will stab you. Just want to say you should die, bitch. Fuck you. You ruined it." These are all people tweeting at her for a character that she played. "I hope your parents die by hard cancer. I will find you and I will kill your kid." It's honestly, these people are fucking disgusting, man. She's a voice actress, right? She voiced one of the characters in The Last of Us 2. And it's actually disgusting that they think it's okay to say these things. Like, how are you raised? In what world do you think this is actually okay? Like, what are you... It just blows my mind. Imagine going after a voice actress with no role. Yeah, she obviously had no role in writing the story. She's just there to portray the character, which she did a fantastic job of, because I won't want to like spoil everything for the game, because I really think if you have a PS4, you should play it. I think it is one of the games that you need to play if you have a PS4. But she basically plays the villain, and people hate her, right? If you are a villain and people hate your character, you did a good job. You're a villain. You're supposed to not like the villain. Like Joffrey in Game of Thrones. Same thing happened to him. People were sending him threats and everything because of the shit that his character did. And it's disgusting to see that. Here, let's see what Michael said. My stream went out. Okay, don't worry, Michael. I'm vamping. And it's honestly disgusting that these people think it's okay at all to tell somebody that you're gonna kill them, they should fucking die. And yeah, people need to learn how to separate reality from fiction. And it's hard to like really fully go into, because that's another big topic, separating reality from fiction. That goes with like the ESRB rating. People, how Mortal Kombat started it because they're like, oh, this violent stuff is gonna make our kids fucking wanted fatality people. You know what I mean? And I am under the firm belief that video games can be a very artistic experience, and you can learn like moral lessons, life lessons, and just experience beautiful interactive stories with video games, right? It's an interactive media, and it gives you a way to showcase art in a way that wasn't available, 30, 40 years ago. or it was available, but in a very basic form. You know, you had like Galaga or Asteroids or whatever. But now something like The Last of Us Part Two, it's multiple stories intertwining with each other that you get to interact with, you know, experience as the character. And you can't do that with any other medium, right? You can't watch a movie and personally interact with that. So tonight works and we're going to talk about what it is now and say that I see no difference in you telling me something to me how the street is the same. That's the social media makes it very easy. How we were talking about earlier, it makes it very easy to connect with people. And it also makes it very easy to bully people like this. And it's not just limited to games. Like, there's people in the cosplay community that I follow that because their skin is darker than the character, people just shit all over them. And it's nobody should feel attacked for liking. Oh, it went okay. Here, guys, I'm just gonna. Oh, there he is.
Hello, hello.
Are you back?
My internet completely cut out.
Okay, guys, there's Michael. Don't worry, I'm vamping. I'm
can I
vamping.
get a fuck Spectrum in the chat?
Get a fuck Spectrum in the chat.
Yeah, I'll just have to keep doing this from here. I apologize for that, guys. Spectrum's fucking shit, dude.
Yeah. Fuck Spectrum.
I'll try to get it working while we're still doing this. So, I apologize if the audio sounds kind of scuffed.
Yeah, it's okay. It's yeah. But what was I talking about? Let's put that up, and then there we go. There, now you guys can see there's Michael and his thing. That looks fine. But I think people see the personality of a streamer, see the persona that a streamer or content creator puts out, and if they enjoy that content creator, then they put them on a pedestal, and if they hate that content creator, they think it is okay to basically bully them or say awful shit to them. And there's just no reason for it, right? There's no reason for someone, like, if you don't agree with something, there's no reason for you to attack it. That is, I guess that's a broad point that I'm trying to get across. And it's just really hard to formulate into words the feeling of social media and interacting with content creators, because that is something still very new, I guess. And by new, I mean like the last decade, right? That's when streaming really takes off in popularity and everything. And you start seeing drama circles, cliques, and all that stuff. And I hope you're liking all this camera work right here. But yeah, you shouldn't be a dick just for the sake of being a dick.
Hey, I'm back.
He's back, guys. Michael came back.
I am so sorry about that, y'all. That's professional podcasters, by the way.
So that's our technical difficulties were bound to happen. So I was hopefully you guys
small bad guys.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed my vamp.
That's my bad.
I tried my best to keep it interesting and keep on topic. So hopefully you guys
enjoyed my vamp. I literally messaged Mark and I was like, "Oh, vamp, my internet's down." Oh man, that's the audio's gonna be super good, dude.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. They're gonna be like, "What the hell is happening?"
That's gonna be so good.
But, just roll with the punches.
Yep. So I don't know what y'all heard before Spectrum took a shit on me, but yeah. So I'm pretty open about my own mental health, and what I was trying to say, and I don't know if y'all heard it, but I know how bad it can get. I can't imagine going through depression and anxiety and everything else while having an audience that big
Right.
who is willfully making jokes about suicide, depression, mental health because they think it's fucking hilarious, you know. It's just sad. It's like you share that part of your life with people who, to be frank, they don't need to know that shit. That's none of their business, but you share it with them anyway. And then they use it against you.
Mm-hmm.
It's 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 upsetting, and it's I don't know, the only word I can think of is immoral, and I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't even know if that's the word that I'm trying to think of.
Right.
Um but yeah, man, it's I mean, just like with everything else, my heart really goes out to everybody impacted by this.
That's the thing. You shouldn't expect anything like you shouldn't expect toxicity in any online community. That shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
normalized. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be like, oh, it's just them being them. You know what I mean? That goes to the same thing as like, oh, that's boys being boys. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, it's not at all. That shouldn't be normalized. It shouldn't be the case. And of course, there's going to be disagreements and everything, right? There's going to be
Mm-hmm.
arguments, disagreements, opinions are going to fly at each other, but never. It should never devolve into basically just attacking somebody
Yeah.
and wanting to hurt them psychologically, mentally, whatever you want to say. It should never devolve into that. And it shouldn't be what you expect from a community. Like, I try to have my community or our community welcoming and
Mm-hmm.
like your voice and what you say, it actually it matters in the long, and like nobody's gonna be like, yo, fuck this guy, why is he even here?
Yeah.
Because that's not the type of person I would want in my community. I want someone who's a weeb like me, who's just like, yo, let's get pumped for the new season of anime, or
I have a
who's
confession to make. I'm not a weeb.
yeah, Michael's a baby weeb. He's been introduced, but he's baby steps. You know what I mean? Thank you, Josh.
Man.
And you know, yeah, weeb's in, and nice. And I want it to be like you guys can come in and be like, just be hyped about it and be hyped with other people about it, because I think that's the best community where a bunch of people are hyped about a game, a show, a
Yeah.
movie, something. And when it gets to the point where people are attacking people for no reason or attacking them to just destroy them, it's not good, dude. It's sad. And that is not
Yeah.
the community I want. And I try my best to make it how I want. If that's like a good way to say it.
Yeah. And you know, I think I think there comes a certain point where your community kind of can become too big for you and only a few people to moderate everything.
Right.
Um, but I think if you know you have enough people in chat that are setting a good example, not to just put this on one person or one group of people, but I think it's kind of on everybody, because it would be one thing if Mark during his streams is only about is all positive, all positive, all positive, and then the chat's super toxic. Or if Mark is super toxic and the chat's nothing but positivity, there needs to be a balance there. And I
Right.
think when you get to I think if you're able to foster that, you know, early on, and as your community continues to grow, you're going to continue to attract those kinds of people, right? You're always going to have that one troll in chat who just comes in to just try to ruin somebody's day.
Right.
But I think if you have enough people and you foster the right community, you're going to have people who are in that stream who will be able to call out those people and feel okay doing that and not feel like, oh, should I do it? Because if I do, am I overstepping boundaries or this or that? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's really hard to manage, especially for the bigger communities.
It is. And don't get me wrong, there are some communities on the platform that are just built on being toxic. Like that's the entire thing, is like, let's just be toxic. And you know, not to talk shit about any of them, because TOS and whatnot, but those are the communities that are going to get stuck, as like Twitch as a company begins to evolve and realize that they need to do things to make themselves as a platform advertiser friendly, to keep attracting sponsors, to get money. Those are the kinds of communities that are going to eventually get booted off the site.
Right.
Those are the types of communities that are going to become stagnant. Right. You may start average, early on you may have 2 people watching, and then it grows into 10, 20, and then 100, and then 200, and then 500. But eventually you're going to get to a point where you're only going to see those same 500 people in your chat, and you're not going to be able to grow as a creator.
Yeah.
And so I do think it's better to foster a community that is inclusive, one where you can talk openly about things. At the same time, though, there has to be a balance.
Yeah.
I saw, and I apologize, I don't remember who had tweeted it out, but there was another streamer on the platform who tweeted out saying that, well, yes, speaking about mental health is something that we need to normalize. It is unfair to put your struggles with mental health solely on the person streaming.
Right. Like, streamers aren't psychologists, for one. They're not there to...
Unless you're Dr. K.
Unless you're Dr. K. That... he's an exception. Yeah. But streamers aren't there to, like, solve your problems. Like, they can be a good community and a good influence on you and everything, and, like, they can do great for your mental, but that's not what they're there for. You can't put all of your positive mental on them. They're there to create content, entertain, put on a show. They're not a therapist unless Dr. K. Streamers have their own mental issues to deal with. They have their own life, and they're not there solely for you. Go ahead.
It's completely unfair to put that on the streamer. And don't get me wrong, like there are some streamers that I watch who are very, who are very inclusive, and they do have, like, in their Discords places where you can just vent.
Yeah.
And I've been in streams when people in chat have said things, like, oh, this is what I'm struggling with, this and that and whatnot. And you can tell that the streamer is like, there's that split second, like, how do I respond to this?
Yeah.
Because if somebody comes to you and they tell you something and you don't respond the right way, that can do far more harm than good.
Right.
So even though I think it's good to have a community and foster community where you're inclusive and you talk about these things, I think you do need to set the boundaries and say, like, I I am my own person. I have my own struggles. I understand that you all have struggles as well. Um, there's this place in the Discord where you can vent about it. If you need help, here are resources. But please do not come to me expecting me to give you advice because I'm not a trained professional.
Correct.
You know? Let's see. Tell says it's kind of an almost dangerous kind of thing because the people who are coming into chat and doing that clearly look up to the streamer. They expect a certain answer. Yeah, exactly. Going back to this ex-friend that we mentioned before, the night that we decided to cut him from our lives, I'll be honest with you, I blew up. Like, I was fucking livid.
Yeah, Mike
at
was
this
big
person.
mad.
I was big mad because, and again, I have my own issues that I struggle with. And this was a person who was constantly messaging me, this is how I'm feeling, this is what's going on, I feel this, I feel that. And I never set those boundaries. So that's on me. And I would do my best to try to help this person because regardless of what this person believes, I really did and still do truly care about this person. So I was doing, in my mind, everything I could to help this person. And it ended up backfiring because it got to a point where it almost seemed like they saw themselves as like a burden, but it was our fault. Does that make sense, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I blew the fuck up on this person. And I basically told him, like, get the fuck out, fuck off. You know, so when I say these things about setting the boundaries, you know, I'm saying this as someone who has experience with this, you know, and Mark is saying this as somebody who has experience with this, you know. It's important if you're feeling a certain way, if you're feeling as though you may be suffering from depression or anxiety, or you're having thoughts of suicide, it's important to reach out and speak to somebody, to speak to a professional. Again,
Dude, there's fireworks going off. I hope you guys can't hear it.
Shout out Texas. Dude, it's not even the 4th yet. What the hell?
I know, right?
It's important to remember, and we said this already, you cannot rely on other people to give you the advice and the help that you need.
Right.
Those around you can only do so much, and it's up to you to make that final push. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes you'll find the right therapist or the right psychiatrist right off the bat. Sometimes it's a process,
right,
of finding the right person to help you with your needs. But it's important to remember that it does get better, and I know that that's cliche, and I'll admit it, but it gets better. To quote my boy Lin-Manuel Miranda in his musical Hamilton, the fact that you're alive is a miracle. And that may sound fucking stupid to some of you, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Out of the fucking millions of sperm,
oh jeez,
you were the one that was born, right? Not to make light of the situation, right? Obviously, I don't want to make light of it, but
this has been a very heavy episode, so
it has been. It's been a very heavy episode. But I think it is important to remember that, you know, human, like, sentient life in general throughout the cosmos we shouldn't exist. We should not exist, right? Science and math tells us that we should not exist, but we do. So it's important to remember that, you know, you're here and this is your life, and make the make the most of it. Um, and if you're ever feeling like you're not enough, or that you're having these suicidal uh, ideations, there are resources out there for you. You can call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. There's even now, thanks to the internet, there are services where you can contact counselors and therapists and psychiatrists online, and you can video chat with them. So again, the internet adds a layer of anonymity. So if you're afraid to approach somebody one-on-one, try using one of those services, where there is that little bit of a layer of anonymity.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add, Mark.
I'm glad all my viewers are here. I love you guys. I stream because it's fun to share my love of games with you guys and love of whatever else I enjoy. And it's really fun that I can actually go online and connect with people. Because there's a lot of people I've met through other communities or that have come into my community that are just really cool. And I wouldn't have met them if I never came onto Twitch or anything. So, heart to you guys. I don't know why my hands were going to go that way. That wasn't a heart, but this is a heart.
He's like...
I'm glad that you're here, TJ. I am. But, yeah, it's really nice that I have the ability to do this. And go for it.
I think with that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a quick break. So we'll catch you guys in about 30 seconds.
So yeah,
that one was for the audio podcast, by the way.
Yeah, that's for the audio podcast.
That's for the audio podcast. And all right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to this totally nonchalant break.
Totally nonchalant break.
watch the video podcast for that one. It's because there's something else I have to edit in. It's a thing.
Yeah, just don't worry about it.
Yeah. So obviously the pretty heavy stuff that we talked about. Not to minimize all of it, but let's pivot on to some other stuff.
Let's pivot on to some happy things that are gonna happen.
Oh no, Mark, we're not gonna pivot onto anything happy.
Oh
because I am livid.
Michael's livid, guys. Holy
I am
shit.
I'm big mad, bro.
Raid Shadow Legends.
So this is an issue that is really only a me thing. And I know Mark's heard the story plenty of times, but I just got to get it out there to shame some people, okay? I love Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I fucking love it.
No.
I don't give a shit if you only are like a purist and you're like, it's only the original trilogy. I don't know why I did the fucking Nixon. Or if you fucking the prequel trilogy is your favorite. I don't give a shit, dude. I love all of it. They're all flawed. I'm gonna say it. This might be controversial. Guess what? None of the movies are perfect. They all have their flaws. Okay. When episode 9 came out, I was super fucking hyped. So I bought a lightsaber. I bought this bad boy right fucking here. Okay. Oh no, the O-ring, bro!
Oh god, even more travesty.
It didn't have the O-rings on it. Oh no, one broke more fun. It didn't have the O-rings on it, okay? I added those. This was a super basic, it's a super basic design, right? there is machined aluminum. There's some issues with it, but overall, I'm a happy camper with this one, right? I bought it. I took it to the premiere. Fucking loved it, right? I decided on May 3rd to buy another lightsaber. And this one was based off of this one was based off of Rey's lightsaber from the end of episode 9. I purchased the saber on May 3rd from a saber company called Ultra Sabers.
He looked right into the camera when he said that.
I find out like 2 weeks later that they've lost all of their email. So I messaged them on the 27th of May to see what is going on with my order. I'm going to look into the camera for this one. I messaged you fuckers on May 27th to find out what's going on. Y'all didn't reply to me until June 11th. That's 2 weeks later. You tell me, give me 1 to 2 business days. Okay. I gave you motherfuckers 5 business days. And then you tell me the saber I ordered is out of stock and it was going to be another couple of weeks for you to receive it. So at this point, I'm almost $200 in the fucking hole and I have nothing to show for it. So I decide to request a refund, everybody. And at that point, because they don't want to lose the money, they hit me with, oh, well, we'd be willing to upgrade it. We'll add an engraving to it. Was that cool? I said, no. Oh, well, we'll give you a different hilt of equal value. And I said, no, I want my money back. I get another email from a different customer service rep. And they tell me, we're sorry. Y'all motherfuckers tell me, we're sorry you want to cancel your order, but if you want us to refund you, we're going to charge you a 20% restocking fee. How the fuck are you going to charge me a 20% restocking fee on an item that's not in stock? Okay? So I emailed them back and I said, listen, y'all are going to give me my money back or else I'm going to fucking... I'm going to call the fraud department at my bank. I'm going to contact the Better Business Bureau. I'll contact the fucking FTC. I don't give a shit. I want my money back, okay? That was yesterday. They didn't reply to me today, so I sent another email, and I was like, y'all motherfuckers need to give me my money back. I'm giving you till Tuesday. That's not even the fucking worst part, everybody. I'm on the lightsaber subreddit, r/lightsabers, and I'm scrolling through, and I see a dude who makes a post, and it says, hey, I just got my 3 Ultra Sabers mystery box items. So in case you're unaware, you pay $75, and this is not an ad because fuck Ultra Sabers. You pay $75, and they send you a random lightsaber, a random hilt with a random blade color. So this guy orders 3 of them, and he gets 2 of their generic hilts, and then he gets the exact same fucking saber that I ordered, the exact same hilt. So this fucking company isn't fulfilling orders for people who actually ordered the hilt, and instead they're putting them into fucking mystery boxes for $75.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. I just needed to get that off my chest. If you're going to order a lightsaber, don't order from Ultra Sabers. They're a shit company, fucking horrible customer service. Their electronics are shit, okay? Fuck Ultra Sabers. All my homies hate Ultra Sabers.
That's true. And they also have an F at the BBB.
They do. Their fucking rating for the Better Business Bureau is an F. If you go onto their Facebook page, it's literally the entire community wall is just, hey guys, I sent 2 emails already. Can y'all get back to me? Hey guys, I called 6 times and I sent a couple messages on Facebook. Can you get back to me? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the fucking owner of the company, Emery Harris, fuck that guy. Fuck you, Emery. My bad, guys. Didn't mean to flip the camera off, but fuck Emery. He's over here giving himself $3 million bonuses and posting about it on Instagram. Fuck that guy.
$3 million?
Fuck that.
What the
$3 million?
fuck?
And if you go and you read the company reviews from past employees, the dude pays $8 an hour to work at a fucking sweatshop, okay? And he violates so many, and it's based here in Texas, right? He violates so many fucking labor laws. It's ridiculous. And somehow this company is still operating. All right?
Yeah, don't attack this man. But if you report him to the correct
and by
legal
the way,
places.
Me saying his name is not technically doxing, because if you go and you look at their fucking videos, every video is him going, "Hey guys, Emery here, and let me introduce you to the newest Ultra Saber." Fuck that guy. You're a piece of shit. You run a sham business, and I really hope you sort your shit out, because it's going to be really unfortunate if you go under, and I really hope that doesn't happen, but you need to be held accountable for your shitty company practices and your shitty work conditions.
Guys, don't do illegal things is the moral of the story.
Yeah, don't do illegal shit. All right. I'm good now.
I think Michael just had to vent a little bit. See, venting's good. Sometimes you just gotta vent.
Guys, I blacked out. What happened?
What happened?
Oh my god. Sorry guys, I just had to get it out there. Because I can't, in good faith, recommend that company to anybody. It's absolutely horrible. So,
Guys, I don't have any more water. I can't hydrate.
Don't be like me.
But
don't be like me.
So
drag him.
That happens. Thank you for the sub, Kuro.
That's fucking hilarious.
I appreciate you. I don't know where my alert box is.
Did you not add it to the overlay when you made the new one?
I don't think I did. Maybe I did.
Oh, I didn't either, and I didn't even realize that Josh had followed. So sorry about that, but thanks for the follow, dude. Appreciate you.
Thank you for the sub, dude. I appreciate it. But if you guys want to continue to support this stream, this podcast, we do have channels on Spotify, on YouTube.
That's true.
You can follow me and Michael here on Twitch. You can join our Discord, which you can follow this link, Discord, boop. You can follow that link. We're usually in Discord. And you can follow us on Spotify and on Anchor.
Yeah. So if you go to anchor.com, or I'm sorry, anchor.fm/we digress, that's our landing page there, and podcast is available on a whole bunch of different platforms.
Yep. And we do appreciate y'all supporting us. You don't have to give us money or anything. We're not asking you to do that. Just you guys being here is enough for us. We do appreciate that.
All I want is for you to love me.
Exactly. Shower me with love. Oh, okay. Shower Michael with love, and I'm okay.
Dude, we're just gonna take that. We're gonna take that mixer.
Tellers with the 5 gifted subs. I hope you enjoy the emotes. Koki, True Treble, Sissy, Gangster, and Gifted Fox. I hope you all enjoy the emotes.
Taking that mixer approach of the trickle down. So you send me the love, and eventually it'll trickle down to Mark.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works, right?
I think that's how that works.
Pretty sure that's how it works.
But we got out our mix. I vamped about Mixer last week. So if you guys weren't here for that, that'll be on our past episodes, which will be on YouTube and Spotify and everything. You know what I mean?
Sir. Yeah, so those are going up on YouTube. There'll be highlights here on both Twitch channels. Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Mine's probably not, since,
Michael did die halfway through it.
But Mark's will definitely, I'll go ahead and I'll highlight that on his Twitch channel for him. Mark, have you been out lately? Like, to the store or anything?
The last time I went out was last Saturday.
Oh,
and
nice.
It was after my county made masks mandatory, and there were still people without masks. Fuck them.
Yeah, dude, of course.
And I want this shit to be over and done with, so wear your goddamn mask.
Listen, I had to cancel a trip, go visit Mark,
Yeah, me and Michael were gonna hang out. We were gonna go to a concert. Wait, were we gonna go to the concert?
No, we were gonna go see the LCS Spring
We were gonna go
Finals,
see the LCS Spring Finals.
and that got canceled.
That got canceled
So y'all need to wear your fucking masks.
because there's a bunch of cool shit that we want to do, but we can't do it. Wear your damn masks.
Dude, I had. Oh my god, dude. So for anybody who doesn't know, and I'll make this real quick so that we can wrap up.
Yeah.
I work retail. I'm a member of management at the store that I work for, and I'm not gonna dox myself, but I've had Mark, I'm about to wrap Mike up in that burrito. Hey man, because I look delicious, dude. I've noticed two reactions from people when I people I work with or myself tell them like, hey, put on a mask. Because for those of you who are unaware, Mark and I live in Texas, and the governor made it mandatory yesterday that you have to wear a mask in public, or you're going to be fined $250. The two reactions that I have at work are, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize it." And then I get those fucking people where I'm like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I need you to put your mask on," and they just go, "Okay." And I'm like, dude, like I'm not doing it to make your life difficult. I just want this shit to be over, dude. I don't want to fucking catch this shit, dude. Just wear a mask.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. I have
Remember,
asthma. If I
guys.
get it,
Yeah.
it's game over for me, So,
Dude, and all I'm saying is I'm not a violent person, but if Mark catches the Rona, I will be squaring up. I will see you in the ring, Rona.
Oh shit. But that being said, guys, stay safe. I don't want any of my beautiful, cute viewers to get the Rona. That is the last thing I want. And just be safe, guys. That's it. Just be safe.
Sir. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for checking out this week's episode, rather. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but remember, you can find us on Twitter. It is twitter.com/cloudmark_, and I am twitter.com/MikeMadran0. You can also find our podcast on Twitter. It is twitter.com/WeDigressPod. So that's there too.
Right.
This will be going live Monday, July 6th for the audio version as well as the VOD on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you. Stay safe, wear a mask, stay hydrated, and remember, Daddy, Mike and Mark love you. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.